Oh, Celestia! I've been shot.
Oh, look, Peter, someone threw away a perfectly good sidekick.
Robin, quick, tell me, is Biter okay?
Help, I'm kinda dying.
Did Josh Scorcher come back in here and shoot Ben over that whole pinky wrap thing?
Robin, I left my Necronomicon in the Rift chat. Is that alright, Robin? This is very important. Did you read from it?
It's getting dark. Oh, I'm so cold.
Go into the light.
What kind of stupid advice is that?
Oh, stop your whining. You're going to a better place. I gotta go review a Spike episode.
Oh no! My Dark Ironic Clotfig is in there. My genius.
Yeah.
So here we are, the Equestrian Games. It took 4 seasons, and the final verdict? I don't want to see Dave Polsky ever write another Spike episode ever again. I'm not going to be fair with this episode for the same reason I gave Castlemania a hard time. The season premiere suggested big things. The very next episode we got was a Scooby-Doo ripoff. Bad one. Possibly the worst one I've ever seen. Now we're heading towards what appears to be a badass final. A final worthy of the hype, showing the writers are capable of doing something major. And here we are, it's the Equestrian Games, and it ends up being a Spike episode. Not just a Spike episode, but a Spike episode after what had just been the best damn Spike episode ever. To drive the point home, this didn't have to suck. We've had an amazing season and a terrible season, some of the best and the worst since I can remember. I've enjoyed the last 5 episodes. And we were due for a stinker. I'm going to talk about everything positive in the episode at the end because everyone else likes to put that at the start to get it out of the way. Complaint 1. The overall need of the show to be positive about competing and not worrying about winning by Rainbow Dash. Oh, wait, that's a good thing. Not to mention Scoot's expressing, despite not being able to win a medal, she's acting like the experience is awesome. You know, I'm pretty happy with the writing staff deciding not to take another Scootaloo handicapped episode. I'm personally disappointed in everyone who's calling for Scoots to be handicapped, and I applaud the staff for their decision, at least as far as this matter goes. Oh, whoops, I was supposed to be negative here. Ignore all that. Complaint 1 revised. Spike being reused as a pack mule. I'm so sick to death of Spike being everyone's personal manslave, and you think the writing staff would give the poor guy a day off at a place he personally rescued. But oh no, he gets kidnapped by some official-looking crystal earth pony guards to be called great and honorable. Perhaps bitching about this episode is a bit harder than I imagined. Spike gets a title across an entire nation as Spike the Great and Honorable, Brave and Glorious. Hell, you'd think the whole main 6 would all have their own titles by now. Okay, point 1, take 3. Aha! Spike does something horribly moronic. I can always count on him by burning a fan that someone is fanning him with. Actually, this is not that big of a deal, but the foreshadowing here kind of pigeonholes what could possibly happen. For the story to proceed at this point, the only possible outcome, since every episode has to have a moral, is Spike has to blow it in some way. I mean, granted, that tends to be the theme of all the episodes. The lead blows something, learns a lesson, and we all go home happy. Now this is where the middle finger comes in. We've waited 4 seasons for the Equestrian Games to be about Spike having an anxiety attack. This would have been a fine idea in the middle of the season. Hell, maybe even at the start. But we're winding down on MLP, and we get Spike's version of Fluttershy. And do you know the second middle finger? Guess who doesn't offer Spike any advice on the matter? Flutters. It could have been a great Fluttershy moment, and finally let her grow, with her giving advice on something that she's had a personal experience with anxiety and fear. Not to mention that the main 6 had a series of episodes to get used to this kind of topic and should have been ready and waiting to see the same problem happen in somebody else. Now nitpick time. Did anyone else notice the horses from Saddle Arabia were there? How come there weren't any horses competing? Not a huge deal breaker, it's just one more thing. Oh, kinda. The exact opposite screw up here, but they have griffins competing, but no royal delegate. So does that mean a pony rules over the griffin lands? Who is it, Prince Blueblood? Complaint 2. Mr. Polsky makes the point to remind us that Spike's duty is so easy a moron could do it, before having him fuck it up by having Miss Harshwinnie drill Spike about it. I mean, Miss Harshwinnie is a professional. When she sees Spike freaking out, you think she'd have an eye for that sort of thing. How did this bitch get her job? We get 30 seconds used up on Spike freaking out, and it's so obvious that even Twilight and some ponies in the crowd haven't even noticed Spike spazzing out. I'm annoyed that Miss Harshwinny's character has to be contrived to make this an issue in the first place, when it's obvious to everyone else. Hell, after another 30 seconds, Spike just flat up says he can't do it, and Miss Harshwinny's response is to give him the stink eye and browbeat him. Point of interest, Miss Harshwinny calls Spike a fire-breathing dragon. I'm probably overthinking this. Does that imply that there are other kinds? Just imagine an acid-breathing dragon. Does anyone else find it ironic that Cadence could probably do a better job than Miss Harshwinny? Oh, and judging by this scene here, I'm guessing each team has 5 members and there are 4 to 5 teams involved. Complaint 3. Spike convinces himself he can light the fire with his mind. Well then, you can see that MLP has retaken to ripping off Stephen King again. First airing Do with Misery and now Firestarter. Anyone else notice that Spike's eyes are kinda creepy when he says this? Complaint 4. How much time is wasted in this episode? Spike's time wasting panicking, where it's uncomfortably long. Spike's time wasting proving he can set fires with his mind. Spike's batshit stupid moment about reading minds. Why does he go supervillain here? I can buy a kid doing this, but one of the joys of this show is when the characters, like the CMC, is that we can have young and fun characters on the show without them being stupid. It's retarded and insulting. Complaint 5. Shining armor as a guard. That's his one and only job. I mean, besides sleeping with Princess Cadence. How the hell did Spike sneak by him? Armor is supposed to be Superguard 5000. Not just that, but he doesn't put up a fight, and he lets Spike roll right over him. Spike, shining armor, just let his little sister's pet get his way. Think about that. Spike was the biggest male wimp on the show, till now. Was. Complaint 6. Spike singing. I muted this. The reactions are pretty funny, actually. Complaint 7. The length of the song. This gag takes 1 minute and 2 seconds, and oh god, it feels like a fucking eternity. I've heard Ryland sing Gypsy Bard. Seriously, this lasts identically as long as Roseanne Barr singing the national anthem. Don't believe me? Go listen to both. You won't. So you just have to take my word for it. Good stuff. The CMC go back to their respective big sisters / mentors for praise, which I found oddly missing from Flight to the Finish. Well, minus Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash gets into Pinky's crazy juice. Rainbow Dash loses. She loses to a Wonderbolt. Not only does she lose, but she's happy just to place. I have a hard time buying that, but it's such a fun scene, I don't care. She didn't even crack a defiant smile, and she was totally cool with it. Is it out of character? Maybe. But it's just so pure. Spike torching the iceberg, and the iceberg itself. This is pretty metal. Just look at the thing. It's just so badass. And the moral about making right with yourself is a great moral. So yeah, I guess the episode wasn't all doom and gloom. I could just go on and say the episode exists for no good reason and just laugh it off. But it's a dud for me. I laughed and there are a lot of good points. And honestly, it's an episode worth coming back to pick over, but I'm not happy with it. Dare I say I felt entitled for more. And yes, even a 5-year-old girl was entitled to more, even if I wasn't.